Hello. My name is Frank Idemdia Alapa. That's my name. Talking sports, my game. And I am the greatest. I love listening to Elegbetter TV radio for undiluted, unadulterated. It's probably replicated, but still not yet duplicated. It's sports only on Elegbetter TV radio. I seriously love listening to it. Hello, everybody. What's up, people? My name is Timmy Dakolo, and you are listening to Elegbetter TV radio. Stay tuned. Elegbetter TV radio. Redefining broadcasting. Listen. You are listening to Elegbetter TV radio. Elegbetter TV radio. We dare to lead. This is radio like you never heard before. Elegbetter TV radio. The pathfinder for radio. You ready? You ready? All right, guys, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet Thursday edition on Elegbetter TV Radio. Yes, ITG said I am happy. I'm the number 3 to join today. Feels good. LA Comers actually enjoyed the show more because they start with the intro, then they get all the juicy stories, and they can make their contribution as best as they want to and all that. It's always nice anyway. It's always nice to have that strength, when you join the show from the beginning. And beyond that, thank you very much, everybody. We are 12K subscribers now. Yeah, we hit 12,000 subscribers. Damn. God. Wow. And now we started this journey, I think everybody asking me, how would you get 1,000? I mean, and then the whole lot has happened. We've had fire incident in this studio, like we've had electrical sparks in this studio. What have we not had? We've had just about everything in the studio. We've had people cry, we've had people laugh, we had food, we had party, we had gaming. 12K. I'm looking at it like, okay, yeah, 12,000 people. I know, like, okay, so when you compare us with every other YouTube channel out there that is balling and popping, 12K is zero. That's not a very serious setback that was painful. And then this morning I woke up, my phone crashed. So for the very first time since I started using mobile phone in 2002 till now, my phone crashed. Instead of, I kind of crashed now because, I don't know, yesterday night my phone was telling me no space, no space, no space. And then this morning I woke up, every message I have had on WhatsApp vanished. Every message vanished. Even all the contact vanished. It's crazy anyway. But I mean, it's one of those things. I don't know how other people react to it, but it's not a big deal. We'll get by it and we'll get going. I'm not alone in the studio. I've got a co-host who's an intern, who's vibing with me, growing in confidence and getting better. Yeah, she will take time. Guys, I told you guys, take it easy. Cherry while, okay? How do you say take it easy in your language? Oh Lord. City charge. Oh Lord have mercy. Oh Lord have mercy upon your children. I need to learn that. Oh, God have mercy. So how do you say God have mercy in your language? Mbok. No, Abasi must be there. Mbok Abasi. Abasi Mbok. Oh Lord have mercy. Jesus Christ. Okay. Let me save you from that. Let's. How are you? Good morning, and say good morning to the listeners and the viewers out there. Good morning. Okay, your voice is beginning to project. That's good. That's progress as far as I'm concerned. That's progress. So, what do you have for me? What's the story that is popping in your end? Yes. Now we have more Guinness World Record. Guinness World Record. I had somebody fainted. I heard somebody was tired and went to go and sit on the side. This Guinness World Record, Nigerians, See, once Nigeria face something, it never swell up. So Nigerians are like my son who's turning 4 year old on next week Thursday. Every single day now, when he comes back from school, Daddy, did you buy me a toy? No. Did you buy toys for me for my birthday? So every single day, like I'm indulging him, right? He's gone through a whole lot, surgery, pains.
Yeah.
So I'm indulging him for this period. But you know, no say, Papa, na worry boy, like
The time soon.
he doesn't understand. But I'm indulging him. And even the other two children are looking like, is this our daddy or something like that? Like they've
The
just
baby
did.
of the house.
So every single day, I buy balloon, I buy toy car. Like if I leave here and I'm going to buy something, some I just buy them and keep them. Did you buy toys for me? It's my birthday. So every day for the past 2 weeks, by Thursday, which is the real birthday, once that day pass, if you come back again, I say, Daddy, do you buy toys for me? Before I go talk, I say, hey, my friend, stop it before you get used to bad habits. you know. So Nigerians are like, oh, this Hida Basi, she get famous. It's like Big Brother. Like she
Yeah.
do this thing, she got famous, and people are like, oh, she not get car, she not get house. Even what she not get, Nigerians go lie.
And
So everybody now feel like, oh, you know what? The
them that
cheapest way, the quickest way to fame,
make
fortune, and all these mega starship is they just calculate it. Wait a minute. Oh. So if I just do this Guinness Book of Record for 1 week, I will do this popular, I will get plenty followers on social media, brands will now endorse me.
yeah.
It's better than going to university for 4 years, dealing with strike, dealing with everything. Yeah. Everybody
But they
occupied.
forgot they did not train for it.
That's the point. University had put 5 years in practice, in preparation, in putting the details in place, every stone, like, okay, this is what I would do. When in the Bible, Jesus says that what man will want to go to war without first of all counting his army and know that, okay, the other people army pass my own. Oh, Zelensky is an idiot. Or what man will want to build a house without first of all counting the cost. They've not thought about the whole process, the training, the fatigue, the whole. Well, I'm enjoying the drama, sure.
Yes, like this recent one. They wanted to do a kissathon for 70 hours.
Kissathon.
Yes,
Fornication don't enter. Oh, hey.
They
But
got
Nigerian people go like that one.
Yes,
Because Nigerians like sex. They just hear one fake rumor say that they do sex Olympic for Sweden. See, Nigerians, everybody was not calling me to ask me, hey, where is the Swedish embassy? First, I didn't understand. Okay, because I played in Sweden, and I always like to use Sweden. I think my Instagram used to have Sweden as my location. All right, and everybody was reaching out to me. I didn't get it at first because I didn't even know that story was out there. And I was tempted to ask them, what do you want to go do for Sweden? What are you going to do in Sweden? So, but what? Yeah. They do say no. The one never does a sex Olympic.
Yeah.
He said they do fuck Olympic for Sweden. I won't go register.
Yeah, we saw that they put it in our group chat. And my schoolmates were like, let's go and register now. They said
You understand? So I was taken aback a little bit. No matter how stubborn you are, the problem with being born and raised in church is that the church boy or the hold of God in you does not leave. It doesn't leave. Now, if you like, go and join secret court. There's always that rope with God to tie you. Say, you be my own. And they dedicated. See, Christianity it's also be like court. Once they dedicate you for altar, now covenant, now God gets you. So you grow old, you do anything, you go and be gangster. There is still the church boy in you. So I was like, okay, wait a minute. What if you are doing this thing? And God just sent thunder to strike people like Sodom and Gomorrah. So I think it's a crazy thing that this Guinness Book of Record. Now, this is not the first time somebody's entering Guinness Book of Record. Blessed Okadari have like 8 Guinness Book of Record. But that's the hard work part, participating in athletics competition and the rest. Nobody's talking about it.
This one is just that's cool.
No, that word that you're using is what is deceiving people. Is just I've heard somebody before ask me, what's it hard for this sports analysis one I did do? Is it not just it's one of my friend Kes. That time when we just started and we're doing the sports lounge. So is it not just to talk sports? I said, okay, no worry. And I got the recording and I sent to him. I said, if you can displace any of these people. And when the guy watched it after like an hour or two, he called me back, said, bros, this is too serious. So at that time we had this guy called Precious Omosue, who is a fantastic statistician. Like, he will just give you numbers, everything is on a different level. I used to work with a guy called Anthony Becker who's on that level, but I think Precious is like better than him anyway. And the guy's like, why do I need to do this? Is like exam, IELTS kind of stuff. I say no, this is the standard. This is like the barest minimum if you want to be in my team. It's like, no, bros, you both should continue. So I mean, that's where we find ourselves. Let's say somebody was doing a massaging.
Yeah, massaging this thing
For how many hours?
I think she wanted to do like 80 hours, but she collapsed like halfway through it. So
For Nigeria, where ambulance not they work. Okay, now.
and this is at
Nigeria, where Korope buses they follow ambulance, they drive the road. Okay,
she collapsed.
but I don't know.
Yeah, and the other one she slept. She said, I think she reached 60 hours, then 80 hours, then she slept off. She was trying to cook for
So you see those things that they do, SC Organize Daffy will not be able to do it. Somebody has also reached out to me that let's do a radio turn, like we'll be on radio, we'll talk and talk and talk and talk. And I was like, I don't understand. That they will be bringing food for us to eat here while we're talking and doing the show. They record us. I said, I'm not going to sleep. No. And then they play with my sleep. And then they play. That's why when I travel, the first thing I look at the hotel, the bed. Is it comfortable to let me sleep? No, that's sleep thing. And then they play with my sleep. They say billionaires and then they sleep at night. And that's why I don't want to be a billionaire. Nah.
What of night vigil called? You used to go for night vigil.
I did night vigil when I was young, when I was in my mother's house. And I left my mother's house, my family house pretty early. And after that, I realized that there was not a place in the Bible where anybody did night vigil. So I think that night vigil is a sin.
You say about
it's a work of the devil. It's a manipulation.
Yeah.
So I don't do night vigil. Another thing that I don't do, fasting.
You cannot survive in the house.
No, I go survive. I'm grown.
Like went to prayer city.
No, that one.
Days.
So I went to Redeem for some time. I attended Redeem for some time. I was there for some time. I went to Redeem, and how Redeem is. You never even start 2 days into the church. They don't make you work hard. They call you pastor. It's like, my case is very, very peculiar and unique at the same time. I have dreadlocks, and then I know the Bible even more than the pastor, and we're just going the back and forth there. And that thing that they would do. I live in Aja. The camp is in Ibadan. Let's just say it's in Ibadan. And you expect me to go to camp. First off, I am Assemblies of God trained. God is everywhere. And you say I should go to camp. See, before I even started coming to church, going to church like this, going to Redeem, I've always looked at the people going to camp as the dumbest set of human beings in this world. So I used to live with my uncle. I used to carry my uncle. He goes to MFN, goes to Prayer City twice. We did it twice. One crossover, power must change that crossover service, and one other service. And I called him. I said, Uncle, he's a military man, but his military is in his camp. He was a pharmacy of the barracks. And Uncle, listen, this kind of movement, we want to come from here, go. Now, I'm not going to enter the main church. Now, use mat to sleep outside. Say one person, one pray for now. More not coming again. We'll drive down. You start looking for where to park. Some people not even they reach the place. They will just be by their car.
The traffic as they're going the place.
That's not what we want to do. These people who are here, that's not what they want to listen to. Because if I start on that one, so that's the reason why. As gradually as I begin to see all those things, church, the religion, the church in Nigeria is not the one that God. It's not. This is not the God church. God, there's not God in this Nigerian church. This one is 419 scam and manipulation. But let's hear what you've got to say.
Yeah, and also the recent work of this in America, cocaine was found in the White House.
Joe Biden brought in the powder.
Joe Biden was not there.
Joe Biden brought in the powder. If not Nigeria, I saw rock the sound. I'm going to say Tinubu bring her. What is that? Joe Biden is high on the powder. No, that they talk upside down. You know, Joe Biden, they do balablu too. Joe. Fancy Joe.
They calculated that everyone in the White House, the Secret Service, are conducting an investigation there.
Okay. Hey, Murphy Jamba in the White House. Well, we need to meet in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
How come I missed that story?
Like it's everywhere. This online. Like,
I'll search for it. I'll read on it. I like to say Americans' stories. Their stories are very interesting.
yeah.
So what else again do we have?
Yeah, and for the jam results, the House of Representatives has now gotten involved. They told they're going to conduct the investigation. They told INEC to jam to just wait that House of Representatives are now doing their yeah. That's how the matter has gotten to.
This is not me trying to go the wrong way. And first off, I posted something that I stood with the girl, and eventually I had to delete it because I think I was standing on the wrong side. I don't know where I'm standing right now, but I think I took a wrong stand and I had to delete it. All these people on my Instagram, please look my novice. I was running a fool's errand. I made a mistake. But having said that, House of Representative is good that you are investigating, but when it happened for on our side, so more I investigate and you know, I don't know. My mom. It's not when it happened to the common man. Everybody DSS become the form Dracula, the form Bruce Banner, turn to Incredible Hulk, and Tony Stark, Iron Man. When it now happen on the other side, everything will now become fuzzy and bala blue. The color of blue will not be bala blue. Please, let's be doing this thing with appropriate equality. So that there is no crank. Let me be serious so that they know I'm serious. What else again? Is that what we got? Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. Sporting people, hello, my country people. That's kind of what I call. We're gonna come back. Let's come back from the cocaine in the White House. The National Assembly getting involved in matters that doesn't concern them, doing night vigil. See, a lot of you, I'm not going to do. See, things I will never do again till I leave this terrestrial ball called Earth is night vigil, fasting. You know this thing that they do. Well, I didn't do it growing up, but I know a lot of people. One of the conditions I get my wife before we marry is I not go feel marry woman we get pastor, my special man of God. See, get one man of God where they go meet and you go marry that man. If God cannot speak to you in my house, may God keep enemy with us. Another thing that I don't do, and people who know me know that, don't come and meet me and tell me that God told you to tell me something. Because we feel get problem. I don't understand how God want to talk, want send me message. He go tell us that, which is harder to believe. God speaking to me and me hearing, because if God wants me to hear, I will hear. And then sending somebody else, why would I believe that person? So all of those things are the things. But let's come into football. Football is the one that is sweet. This is the one I know how to do very well, just like cooking. That's the way I'm learning how to be a good father and to be learning how to be a good CEO, a great content creator. But I will continue with that saying very massive thank you to everybody who made it possible for us to hit 12K subscribers. It's nice seeing that 12K. 12 is the number of the disciple. It just went to 12,001. Gege. That's how you people say it, Gen Z people. Gege. There are things that I would never know how to say. And this gege is stolen from me. I grew up using, my first words were gege. So you will just stole it from me and trademark it anyway. But let's get in on though. On the talking point that we've got on the show today. So that's how Al-Khelaifi had come out to say that there is no way. And I think that that's a very rude and arrogant way to put it. But these Arab people, they smoke some camel shit and then they come out publicly and say something. There's no way Kylian Mbappe will leave for free in the summer of 2024. But then he's got a contract that terminates at that time. So it means that in January, the young man will leave. Again, in the contract, there's a clause that says if he stays to the end of his contract, you will give him 240 million. When you were signing all this contract, you didn't know. And then so many conundrum with the Paris Saint-Germain, and I need us, even if all we do today is talk Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester United, we're going to break it down a little bit. Neymar had his best footballing time as a footballer, apart from Santos, because Santos was his youth days, and those were the most exciting time. But his best footballing time in Europe, he had it under a certain coach called Luis Enrique. And I agree that there's no Messi, there is no Suarez, who, the tripartite, the three of them made it happen. And then there is no Xavi, there's no Iniesta, and a lot of other people, Dani Alves, and the rest of them. But Neymar, as a football player in Europe, had the best footballing time under the coach Luis Enrique. And if I know coaching very well the way I know it, or football the way I know it, coaches are very, very loyal to people who help them to succeed. And now, before now, they will say, oh, Neymar's own is done, Neymar is going to leave. Well, the way the ship is rocking, Neymar is dealing with some issues in Brazil, not something I cannot deal with. He's got money, he can pay for them. But the way the ship is rocking in Paris, even though I know that the jobless Emmanuel Macron or Macaroni, not Mr. Macaroni, our own Mr. Macaroni is a responsible guy, but I irresponsible drunkard, Emmanuel Macron, will not get involved and try to use state power to force Mbappe. They could even blackmail him and say, we will deport all your family back to Cameroon. Elizabeth, he does sign for Paris Saint-Germain, extension. We will deport your family, send them back to Cameroon, and send them to Douala, where there is war, Boko Haram in Douala, all those kind of stuff. But hey, it is what it is. When the way it seems that, I think that this is Neymar's opportunity. And like I always say, Neymar is like a child of God, okay? You don't battle. Who can battle with the Lord? Let me saw when they sing for church that year. So you can't battle with Neymar, because somehow every time somebody's trying to put Sansan for Neymar, Gary, the Sansan will come enter the person eye. Now it seems like Neymar is going to become the stone that the builder rejected will now become the chief cornerstone. Paris Saint-Germain fans, shame on you. Well, we will see how it goes anyway. I'm not sure how everything will go, but I'm just thinking that's a possibility. And then let's jump ship to Manchester United. Before the season ended, there was the talk of, 3 people wanting to buy Manchester United. Then it narrowed down to 2, the Arab guy and then the Jimmy Ratcliffe, who is always trying to buy every club. He tried to buy Arsenal some 15 years ago. He tried to buy Spurs. He made an offer to buy Chelsea one time as well. He also tried to buy Liverpool, before FSG came on. And now he's been trying to buy Manchester United. He's got a small club, a pocket-sized club called Nice in France. And, all of this feeling that he's going to be the one. But then the ships have landed, and then he's not able to put his money where his mouth is anyway. And then the Glazers are, giving out the goats, but they are holding on to the rope. And it's hard to feel like they are really letting go. They're not letting go. It's like a girl who comes to you and say, I don't want to do again. I'm breaking up with you. But every time she's always passing your front of your house, she's always checking up on you. And she's always sending you a message on WhatsApp. Yeah, you don't break up with me. Now move on. Now. Let me lick my wounds and then settle with somebody else. But no, they're always, and then I just make a check up on you. And then you don't show. I cook that food where you like. Oh. Are you really breaking up on me, or you're crazy? I don't know. I don't know why girls do that to child. I would have loved to ask this, but she's a child. She might not know all those kind of things. I don't want to spoil her. So let me leave Joy Bassi, because her parents might be listening and be watching this thing, and that cause problem for her when she goes and go beat her over, carry her to church and go and do deliverance for her. I don't want. Okay, so the whole situation is messy. Manchester United cannot even copy and paste Chelsea properly. Look at Chelsea last season. They struggled with the entrance of a new owner, and I thought that Man United would have learned from that. And then again, Chelsea have done something that nobody's even giving them credit for. An overbloated squad last season, an imbalanced squad last season, but this season they've set the tone right. All the SS luggage, all the dead legs, all the players that will not add value to the team, they flush them out. And in letting them go, they've gotten in about 3 or 4 players without any force, any stress. Just that Ziyech, what's his name now? Hakim Ziyech, I've not been able to find a club because they said medical, they found bad name with him. and a few other players like that, Pulisic, those guys, they would eventually move anyway. But the club, you know that okay, this club, they know what they're doing, they're heading in the right direction, and it seems like they're even faster than when Arteta came into Arsenal, and Arsenal was heading in the right direction, but just that they were very slow, right? And but look at Manchester United. The plan, I know that Erik Ten Hag, he didn't tell me, but the birthday of the world said that if Erik Ten Hag have his way, he would let Anthony Martial go, he would let Fred go, let a lot of players go. Now everybody is buying players everywhere. Unfortunately, nobody is asking for Man United's players. And the Man United also don't have the money. I hear that the total transfer budget of the Red Devils, the king of the theatre of dream, the team that won 13 English Premier League under Sir Alex Ferguson, the team that won 2 Champions League under Sir Alex Ferguson, the team that did the infamous treble in 1999, have only 120 million pounds to make their transfer. Ah, ah. I don't know. I don't know what to say, but it's kind of like strange, you know. It's kind of like very, very strange that Man United have only 120 million and they are still dilly-dallying on who is going to be their next owner. You know, it's strange. It's strange because for a club like that, I thought that oh, they would have seen the handwriting on the wall, and there is no greater motivation than seeing your neighbor progressing while you are failing. And when you look at Manchester United, you know, if you look at Arsenal, Arsenal always would have excuse not to succeed. We're not the worst team in London. Come on, see, look at teams like Crystal Palace, teams like Fulham, all these teams that are around us. They are also not successful. So what's the big deal? Oyoberi. I once had a guy who worked with me, and we were talking. Me and Precious were telling him that look, okay, I don't. If I mention the area where it stays now, people in that place might hear and say I'm demeaning them. I'm not. I'm like, okay, that place where you're staying, you should move away from there. Come to the island. Well, first off, when you see people around you, to ginger you, to motivate you to hustle more and push yourself a step higher. And I even give him an example. I said, look, listen, I was a worry, and I grew up in the neighborhood called West Street. And sometimes when I go back, I still see people that I grew up with still living that same life where you wake up in the morning, you go and gather in one place, and everybody just gossiping, talking. You hear, say, you know, they all have all the information, they have the knowledge about everybody, but unfortunately, they're just where they are. And they're stuck in time. They're stuck in time. They're just doing the same thing, repeating the same routine every single day. No major progress. Every time they see you, they want you to come buy them drink, come give them. So I'm like, okay, you should move. You know what I said? He said, you know what? I don't like this island because the life here, everything is fake. I like that place. They are everything is real. Everybody is nice. I said, and that real, I make all of the poor. So I make a large number of people for their poor. Because sometimes this place they call fake life, so it's the fastest growing real estate in Africa. There's a reason why. If it's fake, really fake, all these houses will not be shooting up. Okay, but hey, everybody have their. He said he's motivated by seeing poor people. That it reminds him of the fact that all humans are equal. Nothing. I said, oh, now equality they look for. And I'm Martin Luther King. They put black people for suffering. They look for equality. Well, we all have our different ways of looking at things. So I'm looking at Man United like, wait a minute, did you guys learn from Chelsea? Are you guys going to go through this one again? So by my conclusion, I've concluded that Man United is one of the team from last season in the top four that will fall out gracefully. They might just repeat to Chelsea. They might end up in 13th, 14th, or 15th, 2 points above relegation at this rate if they don't fix the ownership issue. It's 58 days to the end of the transfer window. It's still a long time, as we say. But you see, the thing about 58 days is if you go to preseason and come back, learn from Arsene Wenger. You know, Arsene Wenger will wait for Man United to beat them 8-2 before they will now start rushing and racing like rat when we say, hearts catch fire. They begin to run Ekita and Esketa, okay, as those people they say for skits. And then, they start struggling to find their way. And remember, if you're an Arsenal fan, you know all these things. Now, that seems to be like what Man United wants to do, and it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. And there is nothing as bad as leaning on the victories of yesterday. I used to be this, I used to be that. Liverpool did that for 30-something years, but at least for Liverpool, they were winning in Europe. They won the UEFA Cup in 2001. They won the Champions League in 2005. They won the FA Cup also in 2001, European Super Cup and all that. So you could also excuse them. But this thing that Man United is doing, they've gone 10 years without winning the Premier League. They want to start another journey of 10 years. Man United fans will say, God forbid, Allah, Maje, Ogwe Kufia. But, you can say all those things when you say it finish. Look at your team very well. Michael Jackson say, I'm standing with the man in the mirror. Let your team look in the mirror and tell me who they see. Because Sumbalajaga Tumba, Sumbalagaja Tumba, that's what's going to be the music eventually. Well, that people going to sing for them. Well, let's just keep it going. Let's look at some of the headlines and then Spurs. Let's talk about Spurs in the talking points of the show. So Tottenham Hotspur's chairman Daniel Levy is angry at Thomas Tuchel, not Bayern Munich, at Thomas Tuchel. That Thomas Tuchel last April had a meeting with Harry Kane in his house. You know why this is funny to me is the fact that how do you stop such meetings from happening? Because I have a contract, it means I will talk to somebody else. I could. But your job is to be angry with your own player who even allowed the meetings to happen in the first place. But no, you're blaming Thomas Tuchel. What are you blaming Thomas Tuchel for? Now they're saying we will make sure Bayern go through hell to get the player if they really want to get the player. I'm saying no, you can't force Bayern to. Bayern is a structured club. If the money pass what they want, like they did with Haaland. Yes, Haaland, they know that Dortmund is always a feeder club. But Dortmund got wiser and started selling players very expensive. That's why you didn't see FC Bayern able to buy Jude Bellingham, able to buy Erling Haaland and the rest of them. So it's a process. You can't push their button to make them do what they don't want to do. Remember, Erling Haaland was cheap, but the extras, like paying the agent 20 million, paying his father sperm's fee. Yeah, father's sperm fee. Haaland father is the first man in history to receive money for his sperm at that level. And then you not also add the fact that Haaland ended up to about 795,000. That's about 800,000 pounds every week. If you add all the bonus or the extras that come with the goals that he scores and the titles that he wins, you would understand what I'm saying. Bayern are not ready to do that. They let him go. Like if they do Naga, let him go. So I'm saying that does Spurs even have the power to do that with Harry Kane? Yes, Harry Kane is standing on the precipice of history to become the man who breaks Alan Shearer's record and become the all-time highest goal scorer in English football. Is that really a record? Is that really important? I don't know. But then if he goes to Bayern, he definitely will win the title. Will stand within the chance of winning the UEFA Champions League and all the title and playing in the World Club Championship, World Club Cup. That's something that nobody is supposed to understand. That word I just said now, there's not a sports fan who will understand what it means. It seems like I just spoke in tongues or gibberish or something, or I just said Eli, Lama, Sabatani. That's how it feels like to them. Even the Greek didn't understand that. So my question to you guys is, if you're Hurricane people or your Tottenham Hotspur's Daniel Levy, what's the best way to go about it? Then for Manchester United, not being able to offload their deadwoods and not also being able to bring in players because they have 120 million to spend. They've already spent 60 million, and then there's another 60 million remaining. Who are they going to go for? When the season ended, the biggest need for Manchester United was a centre forward, a striker. Yes, Marcus Rashford was on form last season. We all know that Marcus Rashford does not continuously. It's not with Rooney. He cannot keep it going. So if you are in the Manchester United team and the management right now, and you're working because they're not looking like a civil service, what will be the suggestion you'll be giving to the board? What will be the decision you will be taking? What will be the position you will be holding? Then let's move a bit out of that space and go back to the Mbappe Nasser Al-Khelaifi. Yeah, should Nasser Al-Khelaifi be talking tough as he's doing right now, or is actually making the mistake of putting words out there that he cannot recall back, and then that would not trigger Kylian Mbappe to say, you know what, F it. I'm going to wait till January. I'm signing the contract with Real Madrid and I'm leaving this place. Or probably Real Madrid will be smiling. Florentino Perez will be like, oh, look at this Momo. He don't fall hard, And for Victor Osimhen, the trail has gone cold. All the talk about him, Manchester United want him, but they don't have the money. Chelsea have gotten Nick Jackson. They've gotten Nkunku. Seems like they don't need him anymore. Bayern Munich are still, prioritizing what's it called now? Hurricane. And the cost of Osimhen is really the problem. Where do we stand? First off, it will do what's it called? Aurelio De Laurenti, ADL. It will do ADL a great deal of lift if he's able to sell over 100 million, right? But do you think he should reduce his asking price so that he can sell Victor Osimhen, or probably let Victor Osimhen? Victor Osimhen got 2 more years to go on his current contract, and they are trying to force him to sign an extension. Or he should go back there. I play for Napoli. I won the league title. You for me, I turn you, no problem. I saw dog pull it in the suite. Okay, so should he go back and then just put himself in that place where he says, you know what? No big deal. I'm going to be loyal like Francesco Totti and play with Napoli for the rest of my career. What do you do? What do you do? And I must say to Victor Osimhen, a very special shout out to him. A couple of months ago, when I said here that if I was Victor Osimhen's team, these are the things that I would do. And I think we had a few chat. And all of a sudden, it seems like everything. One thing is to say things to people. Another thing is to watch them take it up and do it. I think Victor Osimhen really impressed me this offseason. He's mixed up with the high and mighty. He's mixed up with the lows. He's gone to his school. He's touched the heart of a lot of people. Fantastic one. God bless him for what he's done so far. So let me hear you guys. And the microphone is over to you. I yield the mic and I let you guys take over the show. There's no comment on Instagram to read, so it's gonna be all YouTube today, and there's plenty of it on YouTube. So let's do YouTube. Let's go from the top to bottom. No, I don't like hearing that top to bottom, because every time you say top to bottom, the first thing that comes to mind is Oga Buhari in the other room. Okay. ITG, I've read that before. Jerry Sampson say good morning, bros. Number 4. Tosin Luyomade says, hope you have backup for your contact and chat. I don't have backup for I don't know if I have backup for the chat. I'm trying to see, because I used to do backup and then it didn't come back. I've done everything I need to do. But hey, what happened if backup moved in? Hey, if anybody can chat me up and I say, who is this? And if he vests, kilo company, the word not going to do. Wow. It's one of those things. It just happens. These are not the things that give me high blood pressure. Okay, I use Gmail for my contact backup. My contacts are all backed up on Gmail, and Google Drive for my chat backup. It's Google Drive that I use, but I think something happened. I just don't know. Last night, the spirit of Ada Famous experience this just happened. But then the Rebel say, not be somebody collapse. He say it's just to massage. Okay now. Adedeji Abiona, he said, good day, boss. Been a while, but I've been catching up with replays, though. Yes, I saw your comments, so I know. Good to be here today. Thank you very much. And Emmanuel Yorokuri say, Joe Biden, Oyibo Buhari. Hey, my bad mad brother is here again. Yes, the other say, ha, Vigil, it after I do it to me, I'm not doing it at all. I'm an adult now. Okay. The Olaro I just say, when I say this to people, like, okay, that's what do you mean? Truth is, have you noticed that of all the churches you've gone to, all the head of prayer band are poor people? Have you noticed that? All the leaders of the prayer band, all the prayer warriors, they are poor people. Prayer changes things. As I Kelly talk about, it still ended up in jail for 30 years. It's a prayer is the key. But for whatever where they don't get done. Which key? I'm just saying, I like prayers. I pray, but the way we do it, it's not the prayer itself, it's the way we do it. It's not the church, it's the way we do church. Okay, so let's come back to the Olarewaju. He said the Mbappe transfer will still do. It's just a matter of time. I really don't get it. It's an incomplete message anyway. Yeah, Yorokiri Manuel says, Soldier go, soldier come, barrack remain the same. Now, so some radio station talk, now so they tell me when they ask me that thing is not true, that comment is not true. Soldier go, soldier come, some barrack will follow. Nobody big pass club, everybody is for sale, just make the right offer. Charles Aladi say, good morning, boss. Good morning to you. The Olara say, with Enrique, I think they are moving in the right direction. And I think that they've made some very fantastic signing. I've seen some players that they are signing. Makes sense. Just hope that they gel together. They blend and they play well. Okay. This is the best decision they have made in recent times. I was thinking that Erik would be the coach of Chelsea anyway, but they went for Poch. Okay, Pochettino will do drama and everything. We'll see. You know, man, say that Radcliffe guy, na scam, oh, bros. I know. He in Chi Martins. Say, LOL, I agree to my brother. How you doing? Why you not sleeping? Okay, you're okay, man. I say, Akim Ziyech, now which? Oh God, may God forgive my brother. God, please forgive my younger brother. You know he's a child of promise. You know how you brought him to this world. Only that alone will make you forgive him. Maybe the stress of being born, it's making him do some things that it's not good, but forgive him. For our sake. Our tears plenty when we're so forgive him. eh, eh, Akim Ziyech, which. Okay, Emmanuel Yorokri say United Gbogbo don't old. Nobody won't buy old Gbogbo. Oh, Okrika. Let's Okrika. There's grade one, there's grade two, grade three, and then there's grade finish, grade rubbish. What he's saying is that Man United Okrika and grade rubbish. Okay, it's only good for rag, and all those companies where they buy rag like Globestar, Nisco, Mandemot, Sedico, MBTC, Steelways, Nigeria Dredging, they are no longer around. They've turned those places to just fallow land. And no, they are no longer around. They are not sinking sand. And that's why nobody's buying rag anymore. Man United, you go suffer. Charles Salad is a boss. I beg, how do you rate the signing of Mason Mount to United? I'm going to be very honest with you. Mason Mount is not a bad player. But last season the whole of Chelsea team was bad. So even good players look bad in a bad team. Again, my only problem with him is he going to a team that is good that will make everybody now see what is good about him, or he's going from one bad season in a team to another team. He was back-to-back player of the season for Chelsea for 2 seasons. So you're not going to sit here and say Mason Mount is a bad player. No. But would he improve Man United? I don't think so. If Man United don't offload the deadwood and also bring in the players that are necessary to make it happen. Again, that's where I worry. Man United will get those, off the cuff, win here, win there, lose some games that will make you question them. Right now, they've already let David de Gea go. They don't have a replacement for David de Gea. They don't have a striker brought in yet. They are struggling because when you want to bring in these players, the players are asking for XYZ salaries that they are not willing to pay. They're telling you, Arsenal is paying this, Man City is paying that, Liverpool are even willing to pay this, Chelsea are willing to pay this. Why should I come to Manchester United without earning that same amount of money? So I'm wondering. I wouldn't say Mason Mount is a bad signing, but it wasn't priority signing. For me, I would have thought that Man United first priority would have been one to fix that attack. I don't think that you can really call what's it called, the guy that sell Amala in England. What's his name now? Marcus Rashidi. Marcus Rashidi, 040. Yes, Rashford. Rashidi, 2-2. Those the bombers. Yes, that guy is not a prolific striker, but he does have a lot of goals. But it's like saying that because of the goals Ivan Toney scores, all of a sudden Brentford is going to win the league title. So I think that they should have signed the striker first, since they don't have much money, micromanage the money properly and get them in. They could still have done without Mason Mount, and that team will still do well if they get a center forward that will be troubling the defenses. But hey, let's see. To answer your question straight, he's a good buy. Not a world-class player, but he's a good buy. Would the team be good enough for him to fit in and then everything just goes? That's the question. The 120 million pounds question that the Manchester United coach Erik Ten Hag will need to answer. Divine Toke say, may God take away every Daniel Levy in my life in Jesus' name. Nigeria, wonderful people with wonderful prayer points. Daniel Levy, you have now become prayer points in Nigeria. Okay, Charles Saladi say, for me, I am not a fan of Mount. He's 20% ability and 80% hype. That matrix might not be correct. Obviously, every footballer is hype. Every footballer, even Messi is hype. The Neymar, Ronaldo is hype. It's a question of you living up to the hype. Without hype, football, we won't be sitting here doing an hour of the show. There's a hype that makes us have conversation. It's the thing that glue us together. That hype is very, very important. It is what is lacking in our leagues. Let me give you a very fantastic example. Sitting in a meeting with some very top brand international company trying to bring a $20 million sponsorship to the Nigerian league. And guess what they said? We don't have hype in our league. We don't have numbers. There's no statistics. Nothing. That we played the whole of last season, not a single hashtag trend, and it's a fact. You see, the thing about this life right now is that when you go out there to go and market a project or a proposal or an idea to anybody, the first thing they ask is what are the numbers that are backing it. And I always talk about numbers. Like when I come here and I celebrate, getting to 12K subscribers, it's not because 12K subscribers does not do anything. As a matter of fact, I boldly tell people I'm not eating one dime from doing YouTube. Every money that I've made for YouTube, I still in the account. I've not even assessed it. Okay, that's how much I'm willing to work and grind, because I don't want to do all those. Once you say $100, go and eat it. There's no discipline to it. But having said that, the numbers are very, very important. Guess what? We're talking, and these guys pieces us down, like the pieces the Nigerian league down. I made us understand all the number of games that they played, the games that had the highest amount of views. Even Sporting Lagos game in the lower league had games that had more views, live views, more interaction than that showed us a game that had 3,000 interaction while it was going on live. Because these guys have the technology, the machine to tell you how the algorithm work. We don't have that. And when I go out on Twitter and I say Nigeria does not have a football culture, people say, "Hey, that what are you saying?" No. They take you back to the 80s. The 80s were choiceless. A football culture is, it's like loving a guy or a woman. Even when you are tempted by other prettier, better, or richer men, you still stick. That's love. Love is not when you live in one village in Okutikupa. I'm sorry for Okutikupa, I'm just saying that. Or Oromo Kowari, and then you're dating one of the only guy who have a car, and you say you're loving. No, you don't love him because you obviously don't have another option. If that guy not date the village, they are most likely you will not even date any other person in the village. So that's not love. That's you picking the very cherry on the top, okay, on the top of the bunch, right? But when you have options, okay, you have Kim Kardashian, stressing him, drawing his attention, but it's still coming for you, then you have option. When you have Jay-Z calling you and you say, no, it's Yoroki Emmanuel that I want, then you know you are in love, that kind of stuff, right? So that's the thing. And in terms of numbers, it's hard. It's hard, but Messi Man is not 20% talent ability and 80%. I think that I would say that Messi Mount is 60%, or 55%, and then 45% hype, which is also good for football anyway. That lacking of hype is why our league is suffering, why we can't get sponsors. As a matter of fact, there are 6 people who have said, well, we'll give you $20 million, and I want $15 million. This money is very, very big in my head, and I'm already calculating how the whole thing will work. But unfortunately, because we don't have the numbers to back it up, the statistics, the whole dynamics, we're floating in the air. We might start the league next season without a sponsor. Let's hope that miracles happen anyway. We're not giving up. We're still going to be pushing. I'm just giving you the reason why numbers are very, very important. That's the reason why Big Brother sells, because the numbers are fantastic. That's the reason why some of these content creators are selling, because their numbers are good. You sit down with people and they're telling you, I would rather put my money on Macaroni, Brother Shaggy, Davido, Bonner Boy, than put it on the league. And then that gives you cause for concern, because you have 380 games, and one guy who's doing any question of the day is the guy that they're thinking of, because the analytics say so. Even NTA, I was shocked when they told me that analytics shows that NTA get 50 million engagement in a year. So all those time you insult NTA on social media, after you say all the things you say, it's creating analytics and an algorithm for them. Unfortunately, we don't have that in our league, because there is no straight up hashtag. There's no nobody know what you're saying when the league itself doesn't have its own Twitter handle, its own functioning Facebook handle. Its content are not being pushed out, and everybody's like, "Oh, do you know that you push more content out about the league than the league itself?" That was where I know that there is problem, because I don't even think that I'm doing up to 1% of what I should do. I always say to myself that there is no funding. I'm not going to shut down my business just because I want to push the league. But having said that, that's how the numbers work. But let's go down. Hype is good. More than they go against the hype. Hype is good. It's very, very good. At least that's one of the things I love about Sporting Lagos, and I also love about Vendreza, even though it seems like Vendreza have slowed down since he left Lagos. Oluwaseyi Adebowale, he said, what do you think of Paul Merson saying Kane being 48 goals away from breaking Alan Shearer's record should be more attractive to him than helping Bayern win a 97th consecutive Bundesliga title? But so let me because sometimes we do not understand cultures, okay? We do not understand environment. If I ask you today, who is the top team in Cote d'Ivoire? I'm sure you don't know. And if I ask you who's the top team in the Benin Republic League or the Togolese League, you don't know. There is a reason why. Your focus is on your country. That's how Europe is also. As much as we want to look at Europe as one plain state, everybody is focused on their country and they don't give a hoot about what's happening somewhere else. And to be very honest, Miss Paul Merson is saying what suits the narrative of English football, and that's what he is paid to do. He can't go on a Sky Sports or BT Sports or ITV or BBC, British owned, British investment, and begin to say he wants to be objective. It's not like, so yeah, I have seen people, I've interviewed people, I've sit in studio with people, we talk one thing and they go off air and they're like, that thing I just said is rubbish. But we will have to say it like this to keep it going. So I understand that. But to be very honest, on one front, you want to see, because the buzz that will create for the English league will bring more money, more engagement, and everything. And so it's a different thing. Paul Merson now is not the right person to use to judge what really happened. My question to you is, if you are Hurricane, which is more important to you? Win a few league titles, now within the chance of winning the Champions League, or score 48 goals from now on, which is something that he can do in 2 seasons, 24 goals in 2 seasons, and you have that record, and then you move on. And then you go into the ninth of your career and realize that, oh boy, I've not done right. Because if it is really that goal that he was seeking to break, you had a chance 2 or 3 seasons ago to Man City, who they practically create something out of nothing. That team is Jesus FC. They could turn water into wine and put the ball on the platter. They say Premier League is very hard. Then Haaland came to Premier League and scored more goals in the Premier League than he's ever scored in other weaker, cheaper league that he's played in. That should already define the standard and the status quo for you, so you understand where this is. But Paul Merson is not wrong with what he has said. By the dictates of his job, he is. The other day, somebody from Denmark asked me to mention my top 10 leagues. And after the 6th or 7th one, I mentioned the MPFL. Let's be very objective. Does that not sound like madness that I'm mentioning the MPFL in that regard? But hey, somebody in Denmark is writing a story about football and he wants my opinion. I just have to chip the MPFL in. So that's the same thing that Paul Merson is doing. Is it wrong? No. Is it bad? No. It's just that it does not conform with your own calculation, your expectations, and all that. But hey, it's not doing something wrong. We need to understand that now media is no longer designed to be as objective as you think. Media is subjective. Media is also a PRO tool and a commercial tool. Why would you talk down the league that pays your money so that another person will feel good? The other day, a lot of people in Sky Sports says that going from Spurs to Bayern Munich is a step down for Hurricane. That's the most preposterous, the most ridiculous comment anybody's ever said, right? Bayern Munich will take almost every club in the Premier League to the cleaners on their day, correct? But here you are saying a player leaving Spurs, a never do well, struggling, suffering, useless club like Spurs, going to Bayern Munich, who's a serial winning team, who sack coaches and sack management even after they win league titles, and you're saying it's a step down. It's the media. It's good. In those days I used to get angry with that kind of talk. It's good. As preposterous and ridiculous as it is, it created a magical talking point over a period of 8 and 9 days. Now that I sit in a different seat and I'm marketing, I'm doing branding, I realize that it is better to be in the conversation than to not be in the conversation at all. Okay. for your brand, it is very important that they're talking about you all the time. So I think that's what Paul Martin is doing in that regard. I don't want to sit here and call him out and blame him and say, oh, he was a drunkard before, maybe that they're called. Nah, no. Yeah, I think he's doing the right thing. Is it Patrick say, I don't come Instagram. Why? He say, I think Osimhen is just weighing up the best option. It might be Napoli. Who knows? Well, anywhere it goes, you guys know my position with Victor Osimhen. I would always support him. I always back him. I think everything Osimhen does pleases me. Is a young lad who's done well by my books. My books might not be favorable to you, but by my book, he's done well, and I really do appreciate him. I love him to the very end of the game. He said, and for me, I don't see Kane going to Bayern. Okay, I don't really see him sharp, but what's showing on my screen? I don't know. I don't really see him sharp, but with football, anything is possible. Okay, and then Baba J619 say PSG already make a mistake by not letting Mbappe let me go when he wanted to go, but no, they have to learn the hard way. Okay, now maybe that's what you wanted to say. It's easy. Patrick says, like now, one man from my church, him like block. I don't understand. He like block rosary die and him get bad monisha exception day, but get your point. Poor plenty past the reach for that industry. Exception is not the rule. Say make Liverpool just give me. What's wrong with this boy? Make Liverpool just give me Mbappe, I beg. That way I will be happy. Oh God. For the rest of my 20s will remain. Okay. You see, if you hinge your happiness on that move, I think you'll be sad till you get to your 30s and then reality will hit you. He said, they say dream big, Abi. Okay, dream out. You will soon change your name from Patrick to Joseph. Keep on dreaming. Don't worry, you're going to interpret dream for Ferro Palace very soon. He said, they have Marshall. They don't need a striker. Ed, I've not seen a Liverpool fan that wish Man United were, just the same way I've not seen a Man United fan that wish Liverpool were, so I can understand. Looking forward to Remo Stars versus Sporting Lagos. The handlers of their Twitter account are brilliant. Brilliant, man. These guys are setting the pace as well as Vendreza and co. I'm optimistic. I think the private club in Nigeria are doing very well. Just like Mascom United fans, they don't love football. Okay, I don't know about that one. As Patrick says, I remember when Gary Lineker tried to be objective, though a different subject, but the British media nearly swallowed the man. Yes, they're almost acting for being objective on something that is, very, very clear and obvious to everybody. The media is no longer objective. So it's a subjective media. You do things to suit your own people's narrative. And then when there's a final question for me, who does Osimhen remind you of bar character? Osimhen does not remind me of anybody. Osimhen reminds me of himself. Kind of like in terms of play anyway, kind of like the early days of Samuel Eto'o. But Samuel Eto'o was a bit more sleeky. Sometimes I see like Osimhen, there's a bit of stiffness to his game. Okay, so I used to coach a player called Aaron Omokoro. Okay, so Aaron Omokoro had very disgusting character, but on the field of play, it was that guy who, I don't know, put the ball anywhere. On his head, he would score. On his left leg, he would score. On his right leg, he would score. He even made it to the 2005 on the 17 championship. And got injured and he started behaving very, very funny. Okay, he was in Liberia. I understand. His PTSD is on another level. He was in Liberia during the war and watched his parents die and all that. That could really take a toll on you. Osimhen reminds me of Aaron Omokoro way more than any other person. But beyond that, I think it reminds me more of young Samuel Eto'o. He's more aggressive than Samuel Eto'o, but Samuel Eto'o, Africa has never seen a player like Samuel Eto'o because Samuel Eto'o was the complete package. He was everything. He could score goals. He was sleeky. He was aggressive when he needed to be aggressive. When like Samuel Eto'o was an African that felt like he was groomed in Europe. It was a different kind of guy. It was a different breed from when they went to win the Olympic in 2000 to, with the AFCON, winning the AFCON back to back, playing for Barcelona, winning the treble. Everything about him was wow. And going to win the treble again with Inter Milan and adapting, Samuel Eto'o, it's Osimhen reminds me of. It's just that I'm not going to be able to put the two of them on the same level. Samuel Eto'o for me is the greatest African footballer to come out of these 54 countries in Africa, but it does remind me of him anyway. What's it called? Remo Stars versus Sporting Lagos will be the trending game online next season. Okay. It says Patrick, I say make I call my hype Instagram today. Nice show. Thank you very much. Let's go back to YouTube. And Oluwaseyi Adebowale says, what do you think of Thomas? I've read that one. Chancellor said Daniel Levy is an enemy of progress. How do sports fans go to bed knowing that their best players hasn't won a spoon? It's heart-wrenching. I don't think that the fans' concern is about the player. The fans' concern should be about the club and asking themselves. But let's be very fair to Daniel Levy. So on the business front, Daniel Levy has done well. When Daniel Levy took over this club was in a 36,000 capacity stadium. It's taking them to 61,000 capacity. I will take that over any trophy any day because the business must be solid for the trophies to come. I remember when Arsenal was moving to the Emirates, when Stan Kroenke was taking over the club, everybody was against him. The Arsenal fans wanted him to leave. He's a bad guy. They called him all the name Sleepy Kroenke, Slow Kroenke, this one, Silent Stan, and the rest of them. Now Arsenal fans are excited. See, in business, I've had workers in this office who sit with me, say, boss, we want to see you. And I sit down and I'm listening to them and like, hey, we need to go to VI. We need to put our office in VI. That's where the whole thing is. And I'm like, okay, we're paying 1.7 million around here. You want to go to a VI, a 3-bedroom flat in VI. Do you know how much it is? How much are we earning? This business doesn't bring in money yet. I'm squeezing my family and everybody to adjust, to adapt so that we're able to build it. And at this stage, you want us to go to VI. Do you really have sense? If we go to VI, how much? And I said, okay, you that say we should go to VI. How much can you bring your show, whatever program you're doing? How much can you bring? Or is it the ones who tell you, okay, the Falcons are going to play the World Cup and you need to send a producer to the World Cup? And I said, why TV, why YouTube channel? First off, FIFA will not give us accreditation because we need to buy a broadcast right. We can just go and get a photographer. Nope, we don't do photography. Picture is not part of our work, but they want to travel, right? And then it costs to go to Australia and come back, costs between 8 to 10 million for you to take the person there to stay to the duration of the tournament. Where am I going to get that money? And even if I have it, well, I don't be stupid to invest it. So when you look at sports from that angle, Daniel Levy has done an amazing business. He's also done well to put coaches and put teams on the ground who are supposed to win. It's just that there is a mental block. So a couple of days ago, I was discussing something with my wife, and I was saying that, listen, certain environment would make you think that being successful is a crime. And because we're talking, I was saying that, look, I like to start saving up money so that when my son is 18 or 19 or 20 at most, I'll buy him a car as a birthday gift, and the same for the girl and for the 3 children, right? And we just got laughing. I was like, babe, take it easy, slow down, blah, blah, blah. And then we bend off the conversation, and I was like, you know what? If we go back to where I grew up in, back in the day, this conversation that I just had now, they might deliver me because it seems like I am possessed, because it's evil spirit speaking through me. So environment and the fact that you travel changes the way you see life. And I'm sure kids who grow up, my daughter is telling me she wants to go to a private school that has swimming pool, that they have AC in their rooms, that have TVs and all that. That's the school she wants to go to, secondary school. She's not even done with primary school, right? But that's a demand. And I'm thinking, why growing up in SSA Road in Warri, like, can I even think of this? Could it be a thought in my head? And I came 5th in class. They gave me this mark. Just think about it for a minute. So environment. I think that Levy, as much as we want to blame Levy and say all the things we want to say, Levy has also put a team in place, put some coaches in place that should have won things. And it's not necessarily the chairman's responsibility to get the team on the field to win. They also pay them good salary. I'm not going to blame him for that. He's also done well in terms of business, to bring in the right sponsors, to also sign players, to also trade in players. He's brought in some of the best coaches. He's brought in Jose Mourinho, maybe not giving them the right time, from Martin Yol to Wanda Ramos to who else again? Harry Redknapp, Andres Villas-Boas. This club have had Emmanuel Adebayor, I've had Harry Kane, had Gary Bale, Luka Modric. This club at some point, I've also had Jurgen Klinsmann, Sergio Rebov, David Ginola. There is hardly a player that this club have not had that is, could compete at the very highest level with some of the other best players, the best clubs as well. But it's just that there is a mental block. There's an environmental mental block that put them in the wrong way of thinking. That's why I think, anyway, it's not necessarily. I won't sit here and blame Daniel Levy and say, oh, Daniel Levy is the guy who's making the club not to grow. I just think that the club just have this mental block of not knowing, how to push extra, to go extra. He also affected us now last couple of years. Especially the Wenger years, Arsenal was doomed because of bad coaching, not necessarily because the owner wasn't spending money or because they moved to the Emirates, but bad coaching and a mentality of the manager who made the club, unambitious. Before now, as an Arsenal fan, you would have thought that signing a player for 100 million was a taboo, was evil, reckless spending. But look at a coach who is very ambitious have come in, and all of a sudden all that money is coming out. Would you have believed that Arsenal would pay 100 million for any player some years ago? So sometimes the environment, the crowd you roll with, will determine how you think and what you do. But I'm not going to put the blame on Daniel Levy for this one. Okay, the Divine Toke say, I think Mbappe has PSG at his balls right now. I agree with you completely. Ike Dinachi Martins say Man United are always sentimental with their players. They need to take position on Marcel, Sancho, Greenwood, Fred, McTominay, and Maguire. But I still think that Sancho should still be given a chance. Mason Greenwood is an asset. The coming of Ronaldo really destroyed him, just the same way the coming of Zlatan destroyed Marcel. But I think that Sancho, you still can give him one more season. Fred is not really that bad. There are games where Fred had come in and plugged the hole and help the team to get better. So I'm not going to sit here and just blame Fred. I think that the way the players are used, there is just this thing in Man United that makes me feel that some players are untouchable. It happened with Aubameyang and Ozil at one point at Arsenal, and it affected the growth of the other players. I think that feeling is also affecting the team right now. Maybe, I'm not saying this, you fire the coach. Maybe the coaching regime is rejig his plan, his system, and the way he does his thing. Maybe it will just help. And then, of course, I agree that some players should be sold, but I don't think Fred is really as bad as people think. Divine Toke says Chelsea want Osimhen, but he's too expensive, then they don't want him. But Aurelio De Laurentiis is the problem. It's not a problem, it's his business. He's another Daniel Levy Shah. I never liked the move, but it was an upgrade to Leon. Well, not be you get business, so you can say this thing that you say. Until it's your business, you spent over 100 million on the player, 80 million on him, paid another 20 million on his image right, paid him 100,000 pounds, 100,000 euro every week for the past 3 seasons, plus bonuses, gave him 250,000 for scoring 25 goals in a season, and all these ones, and you say to sell him for 120 to 150 is too expensive. Well done, oh. Well done. When you set up your business, may use that do give away sadaka. Okay, you're a man. I say, bros, we need Osimhen. Forget that Michael Jackson. See why I say God will forgive this boy. You see, you when I see why I say God will forgive him. Who does that? Nothing I just did, man. Who does that? Who does such things? Who says things like that? If not my brother, who says things like that? Is it fair? Well, I don't know. Let's keep it going. Say forget that Michael Jackson. Well, we sign on. Divine okay. You say that barrack truly don't fall. And not every barrack they remain. Some generals come up for barrack. Barrack will crash. When I know they say barrack, so that goes. That's a very wrong comment. I know they agree to that comment, to that ideology. It's not correct. Chelsea. Oh, Instagram don't shut down. Chelsea, this is from Oluwaseyi Adebowale, say Chelsea apparently interested in Dybala, who has a 12 million euro release clause. But why did Roma put such small money? I think that's a bargain and is an upgrade on Mount and Harvard. if injury alive. Okay, his injury is a concern though, but not bad for that price. Not bad for the price, but I think that this injury concern is something Chelsea should look at, especially knowing that Chelsea have history with players who always get injured. Okay, again, actually, Matt say you don't miss the name, oh bros. You're probably talking about Chidozie. No, I no, I finally realized. I finally realized. I know. I just that's why I smiled. I said, oh, I missed it. Chidozie is different. I know. And you bring full compliment at 4 when I walk. Mhm. Divine okay. He said, I do believe Victor Sime can give us two African trophies, but I like to know what you think about two African trophies. Well, which one? African Footballer of the Year. I don't understand what you call it two African trophies. Can you please come at well? Because listen, if you're saying African Cup of Nation, Nigeria not gonna win am in the next foreseeable future. Don't guess. Don't hope. It's not because Osimhen no good, but no team has ever won the Nations Cup with a single player ever. Nigeria not get midfield and Nigeria not get defense. And we not also get goalkeeper. The history of Nigerian football since I started following Nigeria since I was born 45 years ago plus, this is the worst generation of goalkeepers that we've ever had. There is no, then they improve. They keep one game and then after that one they go terrible. We've had how many goalkeepers? We've had Adeleye, we've had Daniel Akperi, we've had Francis Uzoho, who had in his entire career had only one great game against Man United and he still lose. Then we've had that Oyibo boy we no get sense. Maduka Okoye. We've not had a goalkeeper. We see Vincent Nyama came in. Everybody said, why would he start in against England? But after that, he went from strength to strength to strength to strength. He got better. We've seen Peter Rufai. We've seen Aloy Agu. He struggled, he wobbled and fumbled, and he could kick to the side. We saw Wilfred Abonibare, God bless him. So even though he considered goals, but every time he played, Nigeria scored 4 goals. Okay, but these ones that we have, they're not gonna make Nigeria max team. Not to talk about the whole Super Eagles. And then look at the defense. I still think that Kenneth Omeri is good, not because he granted me an interview. But I think that the combinations again in bad defense. I used to have a guy called Sabo Aigbe. My friend was my friend before I became a coach. He was good. He played in my team. There's another guy called Randy Ogbogu. Fantastic friend, brother. We're still friends and brothers to now. But you see, when I was building my team, I like Sabo because he reminded me of Steven Keshi. He had all that style. But you see, the thing is, when it comes to competition, Sabo Albert was never in a hurry, was not in a rush. He was, it was I call him a makeup footballer. He was always doing makeup. The way Simi Ajayi is, was always dressing the ball, romancing, caressing the ball, easy. There's no aggression. And so I couldn't play him regularly. I had to go get a butcher called Joseph America to play alongside one guy who is so injury prone, Charles Amaikwe, to be my captain. And then I got one guy who, you obviously know that this guy's not going to make it in football, but whatever you tell him, he does. Wisdom Okoye. And then the flamboyant Godwin Umunubo, who should have made it in football, but hey, God knows what. So sometimes you look at players and you're like, okay, they've not had the perfect mix, the perfect blend. Look at Akpogoma that we're all thinking, he will come in and be a marshal in defense. What? He came in and he became Lego bricks, very robotic, very one-dimensional, very stiff. Simi Ajayi, okay, will come in and put finesse to the defense. Oyibo War, the worst defense player we've ever had in the history of Nigerian defense. They are good as individuals, as people, but hey, as a team, So if you look carefully, we've not had a defense. And then go to the midfield. Come on, the best days of Wilfred Ndidi is yesterday. It's no longer today. And no matter how you people want to be nice and passionate and dress it, unless you won't be no Sabi play football. What's this guy who scored like 2 or 3 goals in his debut, continuously scored, and then all of a sudden stopped scoring? Joe Aribo. Did I hear not there? And Ogana Karitebo really for me is a support striker, not really a midfielder. So you look at that, and then you can back on Osimhen all you like, but the fact that Nigeria is a team that anybody who plays us know that they can score against Nigeria. And that's for the team that wins. You don't win championship like that. If you want to win championship, people should realize that, oh boy, how we want to score against them. But the fact that any Tom, Dick, and Harry, whether it's Guinea-Bissau, whether it's Sierra Leone, whether it's Cape Verde, anybody knows that if we play against Nigeria, we will score them. It gives the bigger team confidence that this is not where those small teams score against. Well, don't worry, we'll beat them. And knowing that any shot, we didn't qualify for the World Cup. People talk about Sime bicycle kick and rest. The truth is, Francis Uzoho was the reason we didn't qualify for the World Cup. That goal that Thomas Partey scored, who they consider can go? You understand? So sometimes you look at people say, "Well, tactics is not good." They don't get players to work with. There's nothing you can do. They don't get players to work with. The players are shitty, but people don't see all that part. So as much as you want to see Osimhen win us 2 titles, Osimhen no go do am alone. Unless maybe na African Ball of the Year, if you win five, but na African, if na African Cup of Nations, now you dey talk. Forget to. Peter Orukpe says, "Good morning, Elegote. If the Saudi clubs collect Ateta tomorrow, just say, and you are left with Tuchel, Pochettino, and Erik is straight. Now, what kind of question? They ask me a question. Who be Pochettino? Pochettino na coach. Because they Chelsea player, because we just try to the Bema, they talk the matter. Who be Pochettino? Pochettino na ass boy now. Thomas Tuchel, that one a bricklayer. It's a big coach, but a bricklayer. No all that kind of coach was now. We are losing. We're a losing team, so we don't need coaching where we say not get ability to put the team together. We shall be will not come. Peter, Uruka, don't let me off your light. Sure. Eke Dinashimate say if Kane wants to break the record and probably win things, he can go to Chelsea or even United. Okay, that's a good suggestion. But of course, we don't think Spurs will want to sell to their rivals now. If the rivals bring better money. Adedeji Abiona says that Sporting Lagos social media handler deserves a raise. I agree with you. And we're rounding up with member who's coming late. Okay, Aditya Lavoma say Kane is matured enough to know what is good for him. He opened his eyes to sign a renewed contract and expected that his transfer fee of 100 million will be sanctioned by Levy. He may be proud of I don't know, it's a cola chef. Okay. I did a lot of Kelechi to Roma will be good. I hope he gets a great move. I hope he goes there and not show laziness because Mourinho will call him out. Oluwaseyi Adebowale say Levy said something recently which I agree with. He said there is a myth about him that he doesn't back managers, but the club is actually suffering from players they bought for these managers that flopped, and I agree with him 100%. Saying he doesn't back manager is Momoto. Spurs have spent money, Spurs have brought in players, they've done well. So Spurs have signed some players that if they were in other clubs, they will win title. I mean, this club have had Babatov before. This club have had one of the best midfield passer of the ball. I went on to Manchester United. He's a coach now. I've forgotten his name. Jesus Christ. It's an England midfielder. For me, he's one of the best passer of the ball alongside Owen Hargreaves, who suffered due to injury. Oh, jeez. There was a sports midfielder, and then he went to Man United to win titles. Well, and he's in the coaching crew of setup of Manchester United. Anyway, I don't know if anybody will remember his name, or I know the guy that I'm talking about. It's just missing his name now. The other problem is cultural itch. Okay, it is environment they surround themselves with. They believe they are too much when they never arrived. Okay, Levy is not really the issue. He has brought them to relevance. I agree with you on that one. And again, I think that Levy is one of the best things that's happened to them. He spent very well. He brings in money and he spends the money. It's not just going to throw the money around. And again, the club needs to rewire its mentality, and it starts with the fans and the way they see the club. First, be careful who you see as your competition in life generally. This has got nothing to do with, but generally, when you see somebody who is not really doing too well as your ultimate competition, your success will not only be measured by Michael Carrick. Thank you very much. Those two people, Divine Tokaya and Adedeji. Michael Carrick. Michael Carrick have played for this club. Ladley King have played for this club. What's it called? Ladley King, Michael Carrick, Dimitri Babatov, Jürgen Klinsmann, Sergio Ribov, David Ginola. Sounds like he called sports player like Sabi sports fan. Just name it. Everybody that matters. So Campbell once played for this club as a captain. And then they've had Harry Kane, Son, they've had the Eriksen. Eriksen have also played for this club. They've had Dele Ali at his best. Luka Modric, Gareth Bale went from playing as a left full back. And then they've also had some good coaches. Wander Ramos, Martin Yol, Harry Redknapp at his best. They've also had Adebayor play for them. And they've had some fantastic players. Let's be very honest here. This Walker that has won everything. Walker played till he was 27, playing for Spurs, and then he walked away. I'm walking away like David, and look at him today. He's a successful player. So a lot of people have played for Spurs, and you have a goalkeeper who's the number one, the captain of the team, who keeps for them, goes to France, wins the World Cup, comes to Spurs, and they look like the world is on their feet, and then you don't get the thing that you're looking for. So sometimes I'm not going to sit here. I think it is moving with the crowd if we sit where we are and we're blaming Daniel Levy all the time. I think that the player needs to also change their mentality, because that's very, very important to look at. But a lot of people don't look at that. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's Spurs, it's Daniel Levy. No, people, because that's, that thing that they say about Pep Guardiola. Oh, it's money that's making him win. It doesn't make you analyze the club, the team, the work that he does, the way he's moved players from moving stone, from being a slow defender, putting it in midfield. Those tactical nuance, those changes that he's done that has turned the team from, a just go crazy, go and look for goal and score and not keep the back very well. He's evolved his team. Pep Guardiola doesn't defend solidly like that before. He always believed that I will score you because of the way he was spoiled for choice. There's a coach who's coached Messi, Thierry Henry, David Villa, Tacolito, and the rest of them. Went to Germany, coached a one-way loose cannon train and all that. So all of these things people don't see. People, now because of money, they buy results. Yes, the same thing they said about Jose Mourinho some years ago. But the truth is, when you get off the banter wall and you look at Spurs and you extract Spurs carefully, you can't convince me that the team, the Leicester team that won the league in 2016, had better players than Spurs. You can't convince me. You can also convince me that if that was a fluke, Leicester went on to win the FA Cup and win the Community Shield. You can't convince me that those teams were better than Spurs. The only problem is that Spurs have a mental block, and it does happen. I've seen people, when I was in Brazil, I used to be in charge of auditioning, and I've seen people who off the mic were fantastic, even when they come for the audition. The place, when you've ever been to Brazil audition, it's like about 100 people, the car park everywhere is filled up, and you just take that break and you go and watch them outside. They're talking football, there's confidence, there's swag, there's attitude. Once you bring them in and say, okay, stand in front of me, Baba Femi Raja Antoni or Jiggy Man, and then they're frozen. They don't have one. I've had people here put them on this microphone and then they can't talk, but I know that they are very articulate, they're very good. So it's like my younger brother, you use this Eurokili man, so it's one of those things that happen. And these players just get frozen, they just get lost, they are not able to push beyond boundary to say, you know what, some titles are won by players. Chelsea in 2012 won the league not because of coaching. The players just like, you know what, it's not happening again. No, it's not happening again. This one is, if not die, we die here today. Today, we die here. And that's the kind of mentality that wins you. People forget that the 1999 Manchester United squad that won the Champions League, at some point, they were almost on injury. Juventus, they played Juventus in semi-finals or quarterfinals. Juventus had never considered more than a goal at home. Juventus were 2-goal up. That game was home and dry, was lost. But guess what? The player who's never scored a goal in forever for Man United, Roy Keane, scored. I think that Roy Keane played his best ever game for Manchester United, and they went on to win, and they progressed. So when you look, it's also the same kind of mentality that affected that as a Wenger's team that have Fabregas, Robin van Persie, and the rest of them. Because there was just this thing about them that was always cutting them short, and it was more against Manchester United. Once Man United win before them, they fall apart. They had a team that was good, that was better than Manchester United, but they didn't have the mental fortitude. There is a mental fortitude. I want to liken it to what we do at tackle. So one of the best person that I ever worked with was Chidozie Okoroji, but I know how to get it. If me and Chidozie does hard tackle, with Tony and I always win because he would play to the gallery. He would lose it. But with Chidozie Okoroji, I'm always going to be tactical enough to attack him, because if I attack the subject, they give Chidozie Cristiano Ronaldo and Sanchez, who's better. He will choose Cristiano Ronaldo and I'll have Sanchez. Don't you already know that I will lose? But at the end of the attack, I will, because it's the mental thing. I will get into his head and I'll mess with his head. And it's the same thing that happened with a lot of football clubs. And then the fans begin to get into the head of fans. Players begin to lose it, and then they don't win. So I'm not going to blame Daniel Levy completely. We might blame him because it's at the top, but he's not the coach, he's not the manager, he's not the psychologist. He's just the guy who brings it.